Well, I want it either really inside or on the outside because I don't think we're going to be any factor with the pace early, and that keeps us from getting bumped around or something where you could grab a shoe or something crazy. So I'm happy to be out there and kind of work for us the first time anyway, being way on the outside.
Yeah, if Sonny Leon can work out a trip from post 20, you got to be able to work out a trip from post 8.
Yeah, he shouldn't have too hard a time. With a long stretch, he'll have plenty of time to figure out how fast the pace is going to be and where to put him at that point. And with the style he's shown the last couple starts, I don't think he has to worry about driving straight to the rail. And so he ought to be able to put him anywhere he wants
A
to.
pretty amazing classic with, they're using the word generational for, uh, flight line and life is good and stuff like that. Your thoughts on taking those horses on, along with Hot Rod Charlie again, and a horse like Olympiad that nobody's really talking about, but you look at Happy Saver, you look at their forms, they're Grade 1 winners.
My gosh, when I looked at Olympiad's form a couple weeks ago, I'm like, this horse would be the favorite probably if Flightline wasn't in there, or at least co-favorite with Life is Good. So I think it's probably a solid group as you'll see, top to bottom. And there's plenty of pace. There's plenty of horses that lay close to the pace, and then there's some of us that are going to be, back off the pace. And it's going to be a tactical race, I think, unless Flightline just does what he does every time and destroys everybody by the half-mile pole. And then it'll be interesting to see who wants to keep going after they realize they can't win.
Is it good in that regard that Life is Good is in there? Maybe a horse that is, has that kind of brilliant speed as well? With Flightline in there, it's like maybe. I mean, when you look at the PPs, are you thinking could maybe he gets softened up? Is that?
I guess that's what everybody is hoping for. Life is Good is a really good horse, and Todd's a really great trainer, so I'm sure he has him beyond ready for this race. And if Flightline was to sit off Life is Good a little bit, not wanting to get in a heated duel, Life is Good could run away and steal the race. It's a lot of pace. It's going to be interesting to see how the other guys decide they want to run their horses.
And you have to be very happy that in the Lucas Classic, Rich Strike showed a willingness to be up a little closer to the pace. Just not that it's going to be a slow pace in there,
No.
but to have that kind of dimension that he can react to whatever it is.
Yeah, if he's more tactical, it makes him a better horse. And being able to run around horses now has really helped us with the way we're going to, put him in the races. Before we had to lose so much ground to get to the inside and try to save all the ground we could and work our way through traffic. And now he's shown the ability to sit just off of them, and he can run on the outside or in between. So with our post, we ought to be able to get a good stalking spot. If the pace is really, really fast, we're not going to be 5 or 6 off of them in this race. We'll be a little farther back, but if it's that fast, they should come back to us anyway. So who knows how this is going to end up. It's a really tough spot.
Yeah, and actually the easier spot, not that it would have been easy, but that was on under consideration was just waiting for the Clark. What does it do being in the Breeders' Cup Classic? I mean, what were all the considerations to take on the heaviest heads?
Yeah, Rick and I talked a number of times, and Rick is retired. He's in this to have some fun. He won the Derby. He's got the biggest race in the world he's already won. He's got the Grade 1. Richie's going to run next year if things stay well. And he just felt that he deserved the chance to run against Epicenter and Taiba with the other 3-year-olds in here in a smaller field. And we all understand how good the other horses are. But, we could wait and play it safe and go to the Clark, but there's no guarantee that we would win that either. Things still have to play out properly. It's only 1 1/8 miles, not 1 1/4 miles. And if he runs a big race here as good as he's training coming out of the Lucas, I think Hot Rod Charlie shoved on him and he shoved back, and then Hot Rod Charlie pushed back, and I think it toughened this horse up mentally, and he's training better than I've ever had him. So I thought that if we're ever going to do this, and Rick wanted to do this, he wants to do what's right by Richie, but Rick wanted to do this, and I did too. I just, as a trainer, want to play the most conservative route I can. And I think, Rick had it right. Richie deserves the chance to take these horses on. We're going to race again next year.
Is there also a sense of at this point, you won the Derby, you won the race everybody wants to win, that you're playing a little bit with house money?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean when I say, Rick, he's in it for fun now. And he won he'll never I'm not saying never, but I mean, what's the odds of coming back and getting that again for people like us? And he's accomplished something the first year that, everybody spends their careers trying to get. So now we're just having fun with it. And, this is a good horse. Rich Strike is a good horse, and he's improving every race. He's improving his numbers, he's improving his style. Things that we waited all year on is finally starting to happen. And if he improves again as well as he ran against Hot Rod Charlie, who arguably is one of the better older horses there is, who says he can't run well in here?